Hello and welcome to North Country Matters. My name is Donna Seymour. I'm a member of the St. Lawrence County chapter of the League of Women Voters of New York State here in St. Lawrence County. That's one of the civic partners for our show. My guest today is Elaine Fortin, a NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory Solar System Ambassador and a trustee of the Adirondack Sky Center and Observatory in Tupper Lake. She's here to tell us what to expect with the total eclipse of the sun here in the North Country on April 8th. Elaine, welcome to North Country Matters. It is great to have you with us.
Well, thanks, Donna. Thanks for inviting me.
Well, I'm very interested to hear what you have to say, and I'm sure many other folks are too. Could you tell us a little bit about your background, how you got to be a NASA JPL Solar System Ambassador, and what that entails?
Yeah, the Solar System Ambassador program was started about 20 years ago, 25 years ago, and it is out there for anybody with a strong interest in astronomy. It's a volunteer job. Every September, they open up the application period. People can apply, and you need some references. You need a background in astronomy, and each year they choose about 300 new people. As right now, we're up to about 1,300 people across the country, and I kind of think that they've expanded it to some other countries. So it's a fascinating voluntary position. They teach you. You have to take about 4 trainings, all on internet, and you have to abide by their rules, and they will send you lots of goodies. We call that swag that we hand out at our public speaking engagements. Things like stickers and glossy pictures, trading cards, things like that.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun for you as someone who's interested in this to begin with, and a chance to really teach others about the solar system and astronomy and engage their interest as well.
Mhm. Yeah.
So thank you. Let's talk about the mechanics of a solar eclipse in general and why this one is so special. It's being called the Great American Eclipse. Why is that?
Okay, I'm going to cover that in a second, but
Okay,
I'd like to just say for a minute about my other association here since I moved it to the North Country, and that's at the Adirondack Sky Center and
oh,
Observatory in
thank
Tupper
you.
Lake.
Yeah.
I'm a trustee over there, and that's a fascinating place for people to just go out and try telescopes, great big giant telescopes, open to the public. And their website does advertise whenever it's going to be open, because when there's cloud, it's not open. But it's a great place. I want to promote that. And they have a terrific event happening the whole weekend of the eclipse. So that's from April the 6th to the 9th, with lots of activities for kids and families that teach things about solar dynamics. And there'll be some scientists doing guest lectures, and a great place to be, just for and it's all free. So there's going to be
That's even
entertainment.
better.
Yeah.
That's even better. Well, thank you for that. And I'll be sure to put a link to the observatory in our show notes so people can at least click online and see if it's something that when they're in the Tupper Lake area, they might be able to take advantage of.
Mhm.
Okay.
Good. Thank you.
So let's talk about the mechanics of the solar eclipse and why this one is so special.
Okay, eclipses happen whenever the sunlight is prevented from reaching the Earth. This is a solar eclipse. So the moon gets between the Earth, and the sun. And it just so happens that our moon is the right size of moon to actually block out the sun. But sometimes the moon is closer to us than it is at other times. It has an elliptical orbit. When it is close to us, it looks bigger to us because that's the way things happen, and it's big enough to block out the sun. And that's what we've got happening on the 8th of April. Last October, there was also a solar eclipse. It didn't come through our part of the North Country, but it did go across from Oregon down to about the Carolinas. And it was when the moon was a little farther away than it is now, and it was not quite blocking the whole sun. So it was called an annular solar eclipse. But we're lucky that the sun is 400. What is it for? The moon is 400 times smaller than the sun, and the sun is 400 times farther away than the moon. So the two things, angular wise, simply match up to one blocking the other. So, and this only happens about once every 400 years in any one place on Earth. It's a fantastic time to be alive here and have it go right across our roof.
Right, and there's a beautiful map in the background that actually is showing the path of the eclipse.
Yeah.
So visual safety is absolutely paramount when viewing a solar eclipse. So tell us how to keep ourselves and our families safe, because you do not
Right.
want to look at the sun directly, do you?
Correct. And sunglasses don't do it. Sunglasses are not the thing to use. You will get eye damage from that. The sun has a massive amount of light when it's shining like it is outside right now. And we need to look through to be safe. We have to use some sort of eye protection. These are solar viewing glasses. They can be used anytime to look at the sun. So I was looking this morning, and all you see when you put these things on is black, unless you look at the sun, and then you will see the orange disk of the sun. These glasses are used during the eclipse, before the totality and after totality. So you can put them on. Here's how you put them on. If you're wearing glasses, they go on over the glasses like that. And you actually don't look at the sun and put them on. You simply put your head down, put the glasses on, look up. And when you're ready to take them off, like during totality, put your head down and do that. Take them off. So that way, no bright light is going to get in. And to know when totality is when you can't see the sun anymore through these because it's been blocked. You can take them off. So if you don't wear some sort of eye protection, you do, in a very short time, are subject to some severe damage to the retina. And it's permanent. It doesn't heal itself. There's no pain nerves at the back of our eyes. It's not going to feel sore if you force yourself to look. It simply will damage your eyes, and then later you're going to get headaches and blurry vision, and then the pain starts. So you do not want to do that.
So Elaine, where do we get glasses like that? I know a lot of places are making them available for this path through the country, but where can people in North Country get those special glasses?
There, you can get them online. You can check the drugstores. I think some of the drugstores have them, but it's late in the game now, so the chances are that there's not much in supply locally. You can get them online. At the website for the Adirondack Sky Center, they have a link there, and they've got them. It's just over in Tupper Lake. There's people there 5 days a week, and they're happy to ship them out to you. I think it's like $3 a pair or something like that. You can also get them online. There's a website that's run by the American Astronomical Society, and they have a page on their website that has links to reputable vendors of good glasses. So those are the locations. One thing about them, most of them come with two little crimps places here, like that, and then on the side. And so that's for turning them in for narrow faces or wider faces. But even at the narrow ones, for the children, it makes the arms of these things longer, and they tend to fall off the kids' faces. So there's some good ideas on how to make them safer. So this is a pie plate that I've got a pair of glasses. So I had to cut holes out where the glass part would be and where the arms are going to come through. And then I fed it through and then taped on here, taped on here. So that
Good.
little kids can then have their whole face is covered. And then what's recommended is popping a little hole out, just making a hole in their handles and putting some ribbons on there so you can tie them on the kids' faces. So this is for before and after totality. During totality, of course, they can come off to watch.
Right. So that is, that's an excellent suggestion, though, because the last thing we want to do is have anybody's eyes damaged during this event.
Yeah.
So you mentioned something about good quality glasses. Are there bad quality glasses out there that people should be careful about?
There are, and I haven't seen any, but what we've been hearing is that there are people who are putting ads on Facebook that pop up into your Facebook feed, and they are out there to make money fast, and that they're not high quality. So it's not recommended that you purchase from those websites, those kind of like sponsor or impulse purchases. There is a stamp on these glasses, but it says ISO 12312-2. So that's the International Standards Organization. But even the counterfeit people who are making fraudulent glasses can put that stamp on. So just stay away from those shops that are advertising out of the blue, and go use the reputable ones. I do want to talk about some of the other ways of looking at or enjoying the eclipse without looking directly at it. And that's probably it's a safer way that you're not going to hurt your eyes. And that's with what I call indirect viewing, where you have some sort of a device, you have the sun at your back, so you're not facing it, it's not going to hurt your eyes. But you put something in front of you that the sun can get into. So what I've done here is taken a cereal box, and I took a piece, I traced the bottom on a piece of white paper, cut it out, and then glued it to the inside of the box. You can't see it, but it's in the back there.
Right.
And on the top, I cut 2 pieces off the flaps. One here that I'll look into, and another the same size over here that I've covered with aluminum foil. And then I tape the aluminum foil all around. Now my aluminum foil needs to be replaced. It's torn now. But the idea is that once the aluminum foil is there, you make a pinhole in there, in the aluminum foil.
Okay.
So you hold it with the sun at your back. The sun's going to come through that pinhole, and I'm going to look through the other hole, the image of the sun and all that's happening. The whole eclipse is going to show up on the inside of the box, and you can watch the entire thing safely. Now,
that's an easy homemade fix that anybody can do.
Yeah.
Sure. Like the paper plate for kids. Yeah, great.
And finding instructions to making this or the pie plate cover are easy. They're online. Just do modification children's solar glasses, something like that. Will pop up that one. And then this is called the cereal box viewer. So a Google search on that will give you the instructions.
Thank you. Thank you. What about using a digital camera, pointing the camera at the sun and just looking at the screen? Is that advisable?
Only if you have a good filter in front of the lens, because the heat from the sun is going to go into that lens, and it'll just heat up the inside of the camera, and it will damage the camera, besides damaging your eye if you're going to be looking through it as well. So every camera manufacturer apparently has a lens that they will sell. Other good ones will sell you a lens that is made for that camera, but you can make your own as well. There's different kinds of special filter material. This is one that I purchased online, and it looks like aluminum foil, but it is super thin, and it's it looks like Mylar.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
So what I'm going to be doing there, following the instructions that it comes with, is cutting out pieces to make covers, to make filters for my binoculars and for my binoculars. So I'm going to make little filters that are going to go over here that I can then use for the sun. Because if I were to take these at any time and look at the sun, it's going to heat up inside these binoculars and damage them. And it has caused like some to actually heat up so much they'll start smoking and they'll be totally permanently damaged. It is people with telescopes also must not look directly at the sun with a telescope, because that's just a huge magnifying glass that will just heat the entire tube of the telescope, and they can catch fire. That's permanent damage for sure. So
wow, those are a lot to be thinking about when you're using any kind of equipment in this particular way, isn't there?
There certainly is. And I do cover many other mechanisms of viewing when I give my presentation.
Sure.
These are just a couple of the easy, fast ones to talk about.
Yeah, that's great. So, Elaine, tell us what to expect during the eclipse. There's a process that you go through, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. First of all, I recommend people trying to be in a place where there's a wide field of view around you. So if you can be like on a country road where it's fields all the way around, you want to be able to see the horizon. If you can be up high, like in a fire tower would be fantastic, but bad time of year in April. But places where you can see, you're not obstructed by trees or buildings or motion. If they're in a place where there's cars going by, you don't want to be, you want to be solid, stable, because you're holding your whatever viewer, and you're going to be looking very calmly at things. You don't want to have things shaking. Tripod on a camera is great with a filter. What to expect? You'll know where it's going to come. The thing is, the path of totality is 115 miles wide when it comes through the North Country. If you're in a place that's wide enough, you should be able to see in the distance the darkness approaching, and it's approaching at something like 2,200 miles an hour. It's fast, and it just gets woo coming at you, and then all of a sudden it gets dark all around you, over and over. Now, what you're looking at, so that's what's on the lateral view, but what you're looking at with your viewer or your glasses is you're going to see a piece of the sun disappear. So apparently it's expected to come in from the lower right corner. It's always from the right, but whether it comes from the top or the middle or the bottom, it depends on the particular eclipse. So this one, apparently it's coming in on the bottom. And so it'll be a hunk of darkness, concave darkness showing, and then getting larger and larger and larger until there's just a crescent of a moon left, of a sun, a crescent of a sun still showing. And then once that goes over, and that takes about an hour and a half for that to happen. But once it goes over, it's completely over, then it's dark. And that the bright stops, take your glasses off, and what you see is like a halo. That it's the corona at the outer reaches of the solar wind. The plasma from the sun is being expelled and shooting out for like millions of miles into the area above and around the sun. So you're looking at from the top, the sides, and the bottom, because what would be coming towards us is blocked. Then when that happens, things get really different. It'll be like spooky, and it certainly has caused a lot of fear over the eons of humanity, where people at war stop fighting, and people if there's like they take omens from this is a lot of cultures will think of it as a very bad omen, so you don't look at it. You want to hide from it. However, what's going on is the the temperature will start to drop by as much as 10 degrees, or even more possibly. The wind will pick up a little bit and then it will die down. Like at sunset, if you're out on the water and the sail all of a sudden doesn't flap anymore because the sun has gone down. That is expected to happen. The sounds, the birds will be starting to do their roosting kind of behavior because they think it's nighttime, so they might jump, getting up into the trees and to bed down, and then it gets very quiet. Insects, if there are insects out on the 8th of April, if there are crickets, if they were chirping through, they will, if they are at the stage of chirping, then they will be chirping then because they think it's time to go to bed too. So the darkness comes in. It's not going to be dark, like total darkness, like a pure pitch black, but it'll be like very, very strong sunset. And the cool part is that the redness that we see at sunset now in the western sky will be all around us. That's why I say try and find a spot where you can see all around you, because that's once in a lifetime. It's a scene. It's like a special effects in a science fiction movie. But we're living it.
A question, Elaine, about what time should people expect in the North Country for this to happen during the day?
It is in the afternoon on Monday, 8th of April, and it will be starting just around 2 o'clock, where you can be starting to watch for that dark cloud coming towards you. The actual point of totality, I believe, is at 3:28 in the afternoon. So, the kids are out of school. Well, during the totality, before totality, it will have started, but the kids, if they're not prepared for it, they could be subject to some strain. Well, what's going to happen is there's going to be traffic jams everywhere. People are going to be stopping their cars to watch. And if kids are just being let out of school at the regular times, they might be stuck in the buses for a long time.
So this is why many schools have elected to either only have a half day or actually close during the day of the eclipse, isn't it? It's for safety.
That's right.
Yeah,
It's for safety. You
good.
betcha. And a lot of the schools are doing special teaching. There's especially science teachers are giving special trainings to all the kids on what to expect and teaching the safety element. So
one thing, Elaine, that has been happening all over the country, where this is going from Texas all the way through New England, is that chambers of commerce and others have been very busy using the Great American Eclipse to promote the places that are in the path. And it is going to be like here in the North Country. We're expecting a lot of visitors. I saw this morning that Watertown is expecting up to 175,000 people may come to the city because they're right in the middle of the path. So what can people in the communities where this is happening expect? Because we don't have to go anywhere to see this, but people will be coming into our areas to experience it.
We're expecting people from the Ottawa area coming down. We just look at where the majority of population is above us and below us, because the 115-mile wide path is pretty narrow. So the people from south, so we're talking New York City and Boston coming up around here, and then from Ottawa, Kingston, and I don't know how much farther up, maybe Montreal, it will be coming down. These people are going to be needing food. They're going to need to fill their gas tanks. They're going to need to use washrooms. I guess those are the big things. And they're going to clog the roads because our roads were never built with this kind of volume of traffic in mind. So for that day, and possibly the day ahead, but certainly on the 8th of April, especially when it's over, when everybody wants to go home at the same time, there's going to be major road blockage. So the recommendation is do your grocery shopping before that weekend, because chances are that the grocery stores aren't going to have enough to feed everybody. McDonald's, restaurants, fast food, they're going to be running out of food. The gas tanks, the gas stations only have a certain capacity of how much gas they can hold. They better be full before the eclipse starts. But even once they are full, their chances are pretty good that they're going to be emptied.
Right.
There are so many. We heard that there are about 8,000 coming to Tupper Lake, and I haven't heard the numbers for Potsdam, but I would guess about 5,000. There isn't a big a set of activities associated with Potsdam to draw people to here. However, there are like places for accommodation. I think SUNY Potsdam is opening up their extra dorm rooms for rent. So there is some effort to bring people in, but the infrastructure, the other thing is the cell towers. We're all on our cell phones. Well, we're all going to be wanting to FaceTime with our friends or Zoom or whatever, but the cell towers are not constructed with that kind of a capacity to hold that much demand for time.
Especially in
so
such a compact period of time. So yeah, I think you're exactly right. Now, you've mentioned a couple times about the activities for Totality in Tupper because you're involved with the Adirondack Sky Center. You've mentioned a little bit about what they're going and what they're expecting in Tupper for people coming to visit. How often does anything like this ever happen? This is such a unique experience, isn't it, for all of us?
It is for all of us. I really mean that, because there's unless you're a person who likes this thing kind of thing so much and are willing to have your vacations to travel anywhere in the world where they appear, well, then we're only going to see one in our lifetime. The next one coming through with this area is going to be in the year 2399. So like how many generations of us are going to happen between now and then? A lot. The next one in the United States, I believe, is in 2044. So some of us could go there. But that's only being, I think, North Dakota and Wyoming is just touching that area, because with solar eclipses, it touches just a tiny little bit of the Earth. Now this doesn't look like a tiny bit from Mexico up to Canada. That's a good few thousand miles, but most of the time they're shorter than that. And a lot of the time they're in the oceans, because the Earth is so full of water. There's more water than there is land. So most of them occur over there. As far as how often they occur, it's every 18 months. So so here we are now. In 18 months from now, there'll be another one, but it's not anywhere near us. And then 18 months later, someplace else.
Elaine, I don't want to jinx anything, but what happens to the event if we have a cloudy day? Can scientists still learn things about the sun from an eclipse in a cloudy day, or is that just a missed opportunity?
Well, it will be a disappointment, because we want to see the corona, and if it's really cloudy, you can't see the corona. It's very faint. But what I've been hearing is that because the wind tends to make the clouds move around, that it often happens that there's a break in the clouds. So we are talking about 3.5 minutes, almost 3.5 minutes of totality here in Potsdam, and that over 3.5 minutes we're hoping that there'll be a break in the clouds. But NASA itself does have, I believe, 13 different locations where they've sent NASA employees all across that line of totality. So they're set up to see, they're going to get sunshine in many of the places. So they want to capture as much as they can.
So that the science will not be lost. If it's just cloudy in one place, there's going to be enough science. Elaine, this has been a fascinating conversation. I know you're making presentations between now and the 8th of April all over the North Country, you and your compatriot at St. Lawrence, Eileen
Yeah, Eileen.
O'Donoghue.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you for coming in and doing this program with us. And I encourage folks, if you have a chance to go to one of the library presentations or any other place, please do that, because you will get a lot more information than we were able to pack into this little short show. So thank you again for coming in and doing this. And I'd love to have you back another time for another solar system talk when there's something else
Sure.
that you think that folks would be interested in. So thank you.
Right, good. I'd
These
love to come back.
conversations are a production of North Country Matters. This show is a civic collaboration between the St. Lawrence County League of Women Voters and the Potsdam Public Library. Until next time, remember, our North Country matters.